air side by side. At Shane Company, love is always in the air with our all-inclusive free lifetime warranty, everyday competitive prices, and no-pressure shopping experience. Come see us in store or at shaneco.com because a friend wants you to win Valentine's Day. Shane Company, your friend and jeweler.
Right now at Del Taco, you can get 2 grilled chicken tacos for just $3. You hear that? That's the real sizzle of a real grill. At Del Taco, we freshly grill our marinated chicken right here in our kitchens. Not some factory far, far away. It's what makes our grilled chicken tacos a top seller for over 30 years. So come get 2 grilled chicken tacos, made to order for only $3. A real good deal we can all use right now. Only at Del Taco. Del, yeah. Price and participation may vary.
When is Kate getting here?
Should be any minute. She was on one of her Goodwill treasure hunts.
Treasure hunt? Oh, here she comes. And in an amazing new jacket.
Ready to rock, guys?
You definitely are.
Where'd you get that?
Don't you love it? I got it at Goodwill.
Kate got it at Goodwill. With hundreds of thousands of unique items arriving in-store daily, you can get it at Goodwill too. Find your convenient neighborhood location at goodwillaz.org. Nonprofit for good.
Right now at Marquee in Scottsdale, buy a brand new 2025 Kia K4 for $369 a month for 72 months at 4.99% APR with just $2,000 down.
The name to remember? Mark Kia. Mark Kia. Finance. Expires February 7, 2026.
AM 1060 KDUS Tempe Phoenix and KSLX HD2 Scottsdale Phoenix. It's the lunch break.
January 28th, 2026. It is the Wednesday edition of the lunch break right here on KDUS AM 1060. Streaming always on the KDUS AM 1060 app, and you can watch us on the KDUS AM 1060 YouTube channel. Chris Schubert, producer Evan here with you for the next 2 hours on the program. And boy, do we have a lot to get to. The Suns picked up a nice win last night. We are considering this day 3 of LaFleur Watch.
LaFleur.
Day 3 for us here on the program.
Day 3.
So we'll be keeping tabs on all of that. Maybe there's a new entrant to this battle royale to see who's going to be the next Arizona Cardinals head coach. We will try to get to the bottom of it all here today on the program, but it was a tough, gritty, ugly at times basketball game, but the Phoenix Suns allow me to open the program, hit the button, and break out the red Sharpie.
Time for our top story of the day. It's the Daily Special.
It had been a little bit, producer Evan. We haven't had the ability to break out the red Sharpie since a week ago. So we'll break it out. I'll give you the noise. Phoenix Suns schedule right in front of me, and we'll add that red W against Brooklyn last night. Snapping a 2-game losing streak with a 106-102 win over Brooklyn on a night in which they did not have Jalen Green. They did not have Devin Booker. And let's be honest, that's what it's going to look like when those two guys are out. They don't have the offensive firepower to blow teams out, even Brooklyn, right? Everybody blows out Brooklyn. Brooklyn's tanking. They're going to find themselves with a top pick in the 2026 lottery. You can't blow them out when you don't have Jalen Green or Devin Booker. Everything's going to be tough. Everything's going to be gritty. Everything's going to be high effort, high energy, playing hard for 4 quarters. You worry about the long-term ramifications of that, but the Phoenix Suns got a nice win last night. We asked yesterday if it was a must-win. I wouldn't go that far, but you feel really good about winning that game last night. You feel really good that you didn't allow this to devolve into a 3-game losing streak. And yet again, here we are talking about the Phoenix Suns. They do not allow long losing streaks to form. It is one of the mainstays, the calling cards, piece of their DNA. They're just too good on the effort side of things to go on one of those 5, 6, 7-game losing streaks. They're just too good in the effort department. It'll never happen. They had that early blip at the beginning of the year, 4 games. We haven't even gotten anywhere close to that since. They're just too rock solid on the effort level side. They're going to catch a team napping. They're just going to be able to stop a slide because the culture is there. You think Dylan Brooks is going to allow this team to lose 5 or 6 games in a row? The effort level is there, especially on the defensive end. They're just not going to go on an extended losing streak. And you saw it again last night because it didn't go their way for 4 quarters. We got technicals. We got a little Donnybrook late in the game. We got pushing and shoving, fists being thrown. We got all sorts of stuff. Phoenix Suns are right there until the end. They pick up a 106-102 win. And you saw somewhat of a different offense last night because there was no Jalen Green and Devin Booker. And that offense early was, hey, let's give the ball to the big guy and just let him go to work. It's a lot of Mark Williams early, often, and always in that game. 27 points to lead the way. I do want to spend some time today talking about Mark Williams, if that's all right with everybody, because I'd argue that was his best game since becoming a member of the Phoenix Suns. So they changed their offense just a little bit. We wondered, hey, could you just keep doing what you're doing and just hope that your defensive effort gives you extra chances and you just keep jacking up threes? They tweaked it just a little bit. They also didn't have Colin Gillespie last night. And then you get to the fourth quarter, right? You get to the fourth quarter of that game, and I'm sure you asked the question. I know I thought about it. Who's going to close the game for this team? Who's going to take those shots when the team needs a bucket? With Devin Booker and Jalen Green, you know that you can give the ball to those guys and they'll hit the shot. Did you have that guy, Colin Gillespie, fourth quarter magic? That wasn't around last night. So who was it going to be? Well, apparently it was Grayson Allen with 2 circus shots that fall for this team. But you're left wondering, how are they going to close games? And that is something that if Jalen Green's going to continue to be out while Devin Booker is sidelined, it is a worry that I have when we get to the fourth quarter and it's crunch time, it's go time, it's a close game, it's back and forth. Who's going to be able to stop the run? Because Brooklyn had, a 16-2 run at one point in the fourth quarter, 13-2 run, whatever it was. And you're watching that game knowing, hey, the Suns need a bucket here. They need something to break up the rhythm of what Brooklyn has going on the other end. They got to keep pace. And you just don't have that guy that you fully trust when you don't have Colin Gillespie, when you don't have Jalen Green, and when you don't have Devin Booker. It gets harder to have that person that you trust in those moments. You just don't have that guy. And so I think what you saw last night is going to be how it looks against Detroit. If the Suns are going to pull off a win against Cleveland, they are going to play a gritty, tough game. It's going to come with some Donnie Brooks, a kerfuffle. It's just going to be the way that they play. And by the way, I don't think this is an unpopular opinion. I think this is one that many will sign up for. Give me Dylan Brooks and all of his antics. That's what the Suns need during a stretch like this when they don't have their 2 best offensive players. You got to get under the other team's skin. And Dylan Brooks in particular doesn't get the benefit of the doubt from the referee's whistle because one day he went down to get a rebound and he kind of lifted the guy off the ground and then everything, chaos broke out. And Dylan Brooks is never going to get the benefit of the doubt in those moments. But I love the good and the bad because to me, when he goes, this team goes. When he's getting under the other team's skin, when he's bothering them, when he's being a pest, when he's being a gnat, when he's being an annoyance, boy, it kind of feeds through the rest of the team. So I'm good, the good and the bad. I'll take the bad technical every once in a while. It comes with the territory. But you kind of needed that grittiness, that toughness last night in that game. And it leads to a win over a Brooklyn team that, listen, if you were at full strength, you take care of them pretty easily. But you got to win. You stop the losing streak. How could you not be excited about what you saw last night from this team?
I think last night is the kind of picture you're like, they're just never going to get pushed around.
No, of course not.
And you watch Jordan Knott's post-game press conference, and Dwayne Rankin asked him a great question. Asked him about techs and flagrant fouls in this game. Quote, "We play hard. We don't flop. We don't embellish. When that gets brought into the game, that creates frustrations for our guy, for me, for all of us."
It's just who they are as a team, right?
They play hard,
Yep.
Don't flop, don't embellish. That's what they want.
Yeah, and when you start flopping around and embellishing, you're kind of playing into their hand because that motivates them. It just gives them the little extra edge. And again, they needed every little bit last night because it was not pretty. It's a 106-102 win at home against a really bad Brooklyn team, right? I mean, let's call it what it was. You barely got out of there with a victory thanks to some circus acts from Grayson Allen late in that game. You didn't have an answer in the fourth quarter for Michael Porter Jr. You didn't have an answer for 4 quarters for Michael Porter Jr. You didn't have an answer. You didn't have somebody that you could reliably go to be your offense late in that game. But just has become the norm with this team. Somebody steps up. It was Grayson Allen. Jordan Knott gets creative. There's a lot of Mark Williams early and often, and they just find a way. And that's why you just don't doubt this team. That's why when you watch this team play, you can sit down and expect we're going to be in this for 4 quarters. When they play Detroit on Thursday, I expect them to be in the game. I don't know if I'm going to expect them to win, but I expect them to be in the game because the effort level, the energy is just so high. There's just so, you can tell, we use this term, buy-in in sports. It's a phrase. It's not quantifiable. There's no stat that I can point to say, oh, the team has buy-in. You just know it when you see it. It's very clear. The Suns have buy-in. These players have bought into Jordan Knott. They have bought in to Dillon Brooks and Devin Booker and the veteran leadership. They're leading this team to being a 6th seed in the Western Conference right now. There's just so much buy-in that even in the face of this kind of adversity, for the second straight game, they've been without both Jalen Green and Devin Booker. They still found a way. Didn't play their best. Wouldn't call it an A-plus game. Wouldn't call it a B-plus game, right? But they still found a way to win. So this is kind of what it's going to look like here over the next couple of days until they get one or both Jalen Green and Devin Booker back. It's going to be gritty. It's going to be tough. It's not going to be pretty at times. It's going to be chaotic. Sign up. Get on the roller coaster ride. That's what it's going to be. But it's a roller coaster ride that you feel relatively safe on because they've shown you time and time again an ability to find a way.
That's all they do, right? Like just one step at a time for them. That's all it is. It's one step forward. And they just keep doing it.
They just keep stacking, right? They just keep stacking moments and wins and building that chemistry and building that culture. And it compounds, right? It just keeps stacking and the building gets bigger and bigger. And it just feels like it is a snowball that's going to turn into an avalanche here and roll downhill. And if this team can get healthy, the sky is really the limit for this team.
And it is little things like they don't go on losing streaks, right? Like they don't let it extend even without their best player. And I get it. They're playing Brooklyn, but they had every excuse to lose that game last night. Every excuse.
Yeah. And to be honest with you, going into the game with no Jalen Green and Devin Booker, and then you find out that Colin Gillespie is also going to be out. You're just like, so there's a lot of dominoes not falling their way. Like, how are they going to be able to pull this off? And they just do. They just do.
You start chalking it up.
And again, it's not pretty.
No.
You got the chaotic Donnybrook pushing, shoving. Dillon Brooks getting under their skin, getting shoved to the ground. Although Dillon says that they don't flop. There may have been a little flop on Dillon on the shove. He may have embellished just a touch.
Small flop.
Just a small little flop there from Dillon to really sell that he got shoved. He's a strong dude. I don't know if he goes over that easy.
Small flop.
But yeah, they're a pest. They just get under your skin, especially Dillon Brooks, Colin Gillespie. They're just really good at playing team collective basketball. And we knew that the effort level in the defensive end would be great, right? 102 points. That's an important note. I know it's Brooklyn, but they held, they didn't, I don't want to say 17-18 Spurs or Utah Jazz, but a pretty good defensive effort last night.
Yeah, it wasn't quite 98. Or what were they averaging?
I think
99?
those two teams were under 100. They were in, I think, the 98 to 99 range. So it wasn't that. It was a really solid defensive effort, and that kind of allowed them to stay in the game. And, Grayson Allen makes those 2 circus shots. I don't think if I cleared the floor and there was no defender, I don't know if we could recreate those shots.
No, I don't think we could.
I mean, those are just 2 shots that I don't want to say 99, but 90, 95 times out of 100 probably don't fall, especially not both of them.
I was going to say for both of them to fall, it's 99. Like individually, I think we're talking about 80 to 90% of the time.
It doesn't fall.
It doesn't fall.
And they got both of them last night exactly when they needed them. And so you ask who's going to be able to close out games, who's going to be able to come up with the bucket. It may just be a different person every night. And last night it was Grayson Allen. So good effort from the team, a great effort from Mark Williams. and it's another win. It's a snapping of the losing streak, and now you get into some tough matchups here coming up, Detroit and Cleveland, and then the Clippers over the weekend. The Clippers are playing some really, really good basketball right now. 480-864-1060 is the phone number for you to join us here today on the program. If you're listening to us over on the KDUS AM 1060 app, you can listen for your chance to win 2 tickets. MLB Players Trust Playmakers Classic. It's going to be at Warehouse 215 on Wednesday, February 18th. Live performances, live broadcasts, behind-the-scenes access. Presenting partner Fanatics is going to have custom experiences and activations, food and drink, you name it, they've got it. Playmakers Classic 2026 edition at Warehouse 215, Wednesday, February 18th. We've got your chance to win 2 tickets for listening on the KDUS AM 1060 app. When we return, LaFleur Watch. LaFleur. It is entered day 3. Should we be worried? That's next. The lunch break, KDUS AM 1060.
KDUS AM 1060 is your home for the Jim Rome Show.
I'm not here to bury Mike Tomlin, but the fact is, this absolutely is the right move. He did the right thing, and he fired himself. All good things come to an end. Going a decade without winning a single playoff game is not meeting the standard.
The Jim Rome Show, 1 to 4 p.m. Monday through Friday, here on KDUS AM 1060. Online at KDUS1060.com and on the KDUS 1060 app.
Bad Omens. Do you feel love? North American Tour 2026. Live at Desert Diamond Arena, March 24th. Bad Omens. With special guests, Beartooth and President. Get tickets now at livenation.com. Bad Omens, live in Glendale.
Hey, it's Phil Shaver with HomeSmart, and I want to buy your house. I'm a local investor that buys homes for cash all over Maricopa and Pinell County. I buy inherited homes, nice homes, rental homes, homes that are behind on mortgage payments, and I even buy ugly homes that need fixing. Also, are you looking to get closer to market value for your house? As a licensed realtor, I've been able to buy and sell thousands of homes. Since I'm local, you can call me directly on my cell phone, 480-409-9999. Again, that's 480-409-9999. I don't work for a big corporation or hedge fund, so I can only buy 3 to 5 homes per month. There are no fees involved, and you can pick your own close date. The best part is I buy homes as is, so you don't have to worry about doing any repairs. Again, you can call me directly at 480-409-9999, or you can go to my website, gosoldaz.com. That's gosoldaz.com.
Hi, I'm Lexi, your friend and jeweler at Shane Company, where we're all about you. Your style, your budget, your dream engagement ring. We'll take total care of you. First, come browse all the beautiful settings in our cases. Take your time and try on as many as you want. You'll know when you put your ring on. Your heart will skip a beat. Now, onto your center stone. We can look at different diamond shapes and sizes until we find the perfect match. Come visit us in store, because a friend wants you to get exactly what you want. Shane Company, your friend and jeweler.
Jim Rome here with your Run Report. Hey, Steeler fan, be careful what you wish for. You wished Mike Tomlin would quit. Great, you got what you wanted, but you also ended up with Mike McCarthy is your head coach. And the next Steeler fan that I talked to who thinks that he's an upgrade over Tomlin will be the first. And they're not wrong. The Steelers didn't run Tomlin off. The fans did, because he could not get them over the hump. The same reason Jerry Jones broke McCarthy off in Dallas, and the same reason Green Bay did him before that. Hiring a guy because his dad owned a bar in the area and he might be able to convince a 43-year-old Aaron Rodgers to return are not reasons to hire a guy. Best case scenario, they're just good enough to back into the playoffs and get knocked the hell out once again. Safe, conservative, and uninspired is a terrible way to go through life, and that's exactly what this hire is. I'm Jim Rome. Remember, you can follow me on Instagram at Jim Rome. And if you really don't mind, can I get you to go to our YouTube page at Jim Rome and hit the sub button there? Thanks so much.
O'Reilly. Choose Rain-X Rugged XL wiper blades at O'Reilly Auto Parts. Their extra large profile and premium features are made for all driving conditions. Save $16 when you buy a pair of Rain-X Rugged XL wiper blades, plus get 2 times O Rewards points. Our professional parts people will even install your new wiper blades for free at your local O'Reilly Auto Parts store.
O'Reilly Auto Parts.
There is no better way to cash in during America's biggest sporting event than Prize Picks. Just pick 2 to 6 players, pick more or less on their stat projections, and submit your lineup to play. Download the Prize Picks app right now. Use my code ROAM and get a $50 bonus credit instantly in lineups when you play $5. That's code ROAM on Prize Picks to get a $50 bonus credit instantly in lineups when you play $5. Win or lose, you'll get the $50 credit in lineups just for playing. It's guaranteed. Prize Picks, where it's good to be right. You do have to be present in certain states. Visit prizepicks.com for restrictions and details.
Join in on the Sports Zoo with Dave Rooster Beerstein.
Rams and Seahawks, Andy. I don't understand how to be so aggressive. But instead of definitely going up 13-10, your play calls resulted in a quick punt, so quick that Seattle actually gets the ball back, goes down the field and takes a lead, and then they get the jump on you in the second half with that fumbled punt. And that was a huge mistake by the Rams. But I'm going to go back to how they mismanaged that at halftime.
Live weekdays from 5 to 6 p.m. here on KDUS AM 1060 and on the KDUS 1060 app.
Day 3. Day 3. LaFleur Watch continues.
LaFleur.
What happened is the first question on my mind as we talk about Mike LaFleur and his future potentially as the head coach of the Arizona Cardinals. What happened yesterday? How did yesterday not end in crossing T's, dotting I's, putting pen to paper? You met with Mike LaFleur for 2 days. You leaked to the media, either your side or his side leaked to the media that you were going out for a dinner. On this show, we're calling it a steak dinner, but you went out for a dinner of some kind. That got leaked out. Either the Cardinals side leaked it or LaFleur's side leaked it. Either way, you leak it because you feel like things are going well. You feel like things are trending in the right direction. And then you come back, you have a day 2, and all day yesterday, we're on the program talking about, will today be the day? What do you even talk about on a day 2? Is this all just going to be about how many zeros on the check, what the number is? What do you talk about on a day 2? And then day 2 comes and goes and nothing. Crickets all day long. We get into the evening, we don't hear anything. We wake up this morning, we don't hear anything. You know what? All I've got for you is this.
LaFleur.
That's all I got. I got a new drop on the board. That's all I have for you in this segment. I don't have an update as to where things ended. I don't have an update on if they're going to meet again, if they feel good about things. I've got nothing for you. What was yesterday about, the second day of this interview, if it wasn't to get this thing past the finish line? Did somebody get cold feet?
That's what I think. Somebody had to have gotten cold feet. Some new information came up for either party. What happened? Because something had to have happened.
I mean, think about this. Let's do a timeline. Last Friday, I think it was last Friday, we find out it's down to 3. It's Mike LaFleur, it's Anthony Campanelli, it's Raheem Morris. Adam Schefter goes on Pat McAfee, mentions those 3 names, specifically mentions Mike LaFleur. And all weekend long, it's Mike LaFleur, Mike LaFleur, Mike LaFleur. Monday rolls around. 2 days ago, Monday rolls around, and we find out Mike LaFleur is coming here today. Mike LaFleur, fresh off of being eliminated in the postseason, he's coming here today. And not just that, he's coming here tomorrow too. He's going to be here Monday and Tuesday. We get to Tuesday. We find out they went out to a nice dinner.
LaFleur.
It goes into day 2. We find out in the middle of the day yesterday, Anthony Campanelli returning to the Jacksonville Jaguars. Official. Grant Udinsky, Anthony Campanelli returning to the Jags. Not going to take the Cleveland job, not taking the Cardinals job. And the stage was set. The red carpet was out. You knew it was LaFleur day 2.
LaFleur.
You knew that Campanelli was back in Jacksonville. We were just waiting for the tweet, waiting for the breaking news sounder to go off. And then it's crickets. LaFleur, I would assume, gets on a plane. Because I don't know. We're not having a third day of an interview, right?
No.
But do we know if LaFleur left? Do we know? We don't know anything. So did somebody get cold feet? After these 2 days of the Cardinals not feel as strongly as maybe they did about Mike LaFleur? Did Mike LaFleur go through this whole process and decide, you know what? This is a really tough job. I don't know who my quarterback's going to be. I got to go up against my old boss and Sean McVay, or my current boss. I got to go up against my old boss and Kyle Shanahan twice a year. I got to play a team that just won the NFC and might win the Super Bowl in Seattle twice a year. Do I really want to do this? Do I really want to work for this organization? Maybe he went in there with a bunch of questions about how much am I going to be able to pay my staff? What does the free agent look like? And he didn't like the answers he got from Michael Bidwell and Monty Ossenfort. So maybe he got cold feet. Because I don't know what the Cardinals are waiting for. Now, we're going to talk about in hour number 2 of the program the only positive way that I could spin this. There's only one positive way that I can spin us going into day 3 of LaFleur Watch. LaFleur. One way. Only one way to spin it, and that's if the Cardinals are playing some level of 3D chess that would make us both happy. But everything, all the signs were pointing towards Mike LaFleur with the fancy graphic being announced as the next head coach of the Arizona Cardinals, and we've heard nothing. Not a peep. Do I need to check social media? Maybe we learned something in the last 27 minutes that we've been on the air that I haven't seen. How did yesterday not end the contract offer?
I thought for sure we were going to have somebody hired.
I mean, Campanelli
or today
withdrawing basically by going back to Jacksonville.
And once that happened,
it was a lock.
Yeah. And once that happened, I felt that there was certainly a contract that was going to be on the table yesterday. And then you have Diana Rossini reporting they interviewed Ron Rivera.
Doesn't like that.
How did nobody heard that?
I guess not. Yeah, and then you start to leak other candidates that you talk to. It made me feel like it was winding down, right?
Yeah.
And it just didn't. And here we are. We go into day 3. Now, I'm not worried yet. I'm not super confident in that statement. I'm a little worried, a little concerned. I'm not like overly concerned because there's only 2 jobs left. It's the Cardinals and the Raiders. Browns hired Todd Monken today. Bills hired Joe Brady yesterday. So I don't know what you're losing out on. I don't think Mike LaFleur is a candidate for the Raiders gig. So it's not like I'm worried about the Cardinals missing out on Mike LaFleur. I think my worry comes in of what happened here if it doesn't end up with it being Mike LaFleur. And I guess that's a bad place to go mentally because we're not actually there yet. We haven't heard a report that Mike LaFleur doesn't want to coach there. We haven't heard that the Cardinals are moving on. We haven't heard any of that. We haven't heard anything, but we haven't heard that. We heard 2 days of meetings, dinner on Monday, and then nothing. Crickets. And so here we are left. I think it was Adam Schefter reporting that the expectation was all this was going to wrap up by Wednesday. All the jobs were going to be filled. And maybe the Raiders wait for Clint Kubiak.
But it's Wednesday.
I mean, I put this drop on the board. LaFleur. I want to get some use out of it. LaFleur. Right. It's on your board, too. I can't wait to use this.
You going through all the movie
I did.
today where he said LaFleur?
I did. I went through. I just in case you want to have a behind-the-scenes look of how I prepare for the lunch break, I watched many YouTube compilations of the best scenes of Dodgeball so that I could find the best version of LaFleur for this show. So don't say, I never want to hear the criticism that I don't work hard for the listeners of this program and I don't work hard for this show. Because it took me a while to find LaFleur. But nothing. Crickets. We're just sitting here waiting. There's a report of another interview that's supposed to take place this week with another candidate that we'll get to, and maybe that's what has caused this abrupt halt. You don't normally leak out that you're having a 2-day interview with somebody and leak out that you're going to dinner for it to end up with, we're just going to go our separate ways.
That typically...
That's the ramp up to a decision. That's a ramp up to that person. Like the Giants didn't bring in John Harbaugh and leak it out to the media that they were bringing in Harbaugh for him to go take the Tennessee job.
Not only a leak, but, I mean, the 2-day interview itself, unheard of.
These are my questions. I have two major questions that I need somebody to try to answer for me. How did yesterday not end in a contract offer? And my second question is related to the first question. What were you doing yesterday? Michael says it must have been a bad first date. Then how did we get to day 2? They interviewed him virtually. It went well enough to where they wanted to bring him in. It clearly went well enough for Mike LaFleur that he wanted to go immediately after. If you're Mike LaFleur and you just get eliminated from the Super Bowl, or from winning the NFC and going to the Super Bowl, get eliminated from the playoffs, and you're not a candidate anywhere else, right? We didn't think he was a candidate in Cleveland. Buffalo made their move quickly for Joe Brady. I don't think he's a candidate for the Raiders. You're really only been linked to the Arizona Cardinals. If you don't want to take the interview, you don't have to take the interview. You can just stay and be like, listen, it's not a good time right now. We're reeling off of the loss. I don't want to take this interview right now. You could do that. But he took the interview. And not only that, but they leaked out to the media before wheels touched down that it was going to be a 2-day thing. And now we're hearing nothing.
Not a peep.
That doesn't feel like a good sign. It could be nothing. It could just be they're working out the details and this is going to get done. And again, I'm not worried about LaFleur going someplace else, so I guess we just let the process play out. But there is so much concern going into this that the Cardinals wouldn't have a good process. There was so much concern going into this that Michael Bidwell would cheap out. He wouldn't pay what it would require to get a good candidate in here. They would screw it up with who they brought in for an interview. Vance Joseph is who they were going to hire. They were going to have no real reading of the room to understand what the fan base was looking for. And then all of a sudden, out of nowhere, here comes Mike LaFleur. And it was going to be, we're getting a good candidate. We're getting somebody from the division. We're reading the room. We're not hiring Vance Joseph. It was an offensive mind. I mean, it couldn't get any better than last Friday's news.
Felt like it was going to work out perfectly.
And now you're worried. You're concerned that this is going to prove every bit of people's notions of Michael Bidwell true. I'm not going to judge it just yet. I'm not. Because it's not like LaFleur has come out and said, I'm returning to the Rams. That would be a bad look. That would be a conversation that we would need to have. But right now, all we have is this. LaFleur. And LaFleur Watch enters day 3. It'll probably enter day 4 tomorrow.
Tomorrow, we're not getting one this week. I don't think. I just came up with a buy or sell.
All right, then save it. I don't want to hear it now. I'll hear it at the top of the hour.
I was going to say it.
No,
it's like,
keep it.
I'll just add it.
Yeah, add it to the list for buy or sell at the top of the hour. 480-864-1060 is the phone number for you to join us here today on the program. You want to share your thoughts on what you think went wrong, went south, what happened here, as to why Mike LaFleur is still not the head coach of the Arizona Cardinals. For those of you listening on the KDUS AM 1060 app, you can listen for your chance to win 2 tickets to the 28th annual Arizona Renaissance Festival in Gold Canyon. Open Saturdays and Sundays from January 31st and March 29th. You can win a pair of tickets for listening on the KDUS AM 1060 app. When we return, was last night his best game as a Phoenix Sun? Talk about it next. The lunch break, KDUS AM 1060.
The Dan Patrick Show.
I wasn't going to ask too much of Jarrett Stidham. I just wanted him to maintain. You throw one deep pass late, and then you come back and try to throw another deep pass in those conditions, and he gets picked off. They just weren't threatening on when neither team was, because the weather was, obviously rough enough that we could even find, Jim Nance is like, I don't know where the ball is. I think the 33-yard line.
Weekdays, 7 to 10 a.m. on KTUS AM 1060.
My Chemical Romance, The Black Parade 2026. Live at Chase Field, September 6th, 2026. With special guest, Jimmy Eat World. Get tickets now at livenation.com. For more, visit mychemicalromance.com.
Meineke's highly skilled and certified technicians always treat your car like it's their own. With over 50 years of experience, Meineke will diagnose and fix any issue with precision and care using the best state-of-the-art equipment. You can always depend on Meineke to do the job right and get you back on the road in no time. Save time and schedule an appointment now. Visit Meineke.com today. Trust your key with Meineke. Meineke, doing car care right.
What would you do if you could multiply your cash? Would you multiply your vacations? Multiply your relaxation? Or multiply your celebrations? With multiplier scratchers from the Arizona Lottery, you can multiply all the good things like vacations, relaxation, and celebrations. Play multiplier scratchers for over $270 million in prizes and multiply your fun. Arizona Lottery. Love the play.
Fridays at 5, I'm out exploring. From hiking up Camelback to skiing at Snowbowl, the adventures never stop with AAA. It's membership that travels with me, whether behind the wheel or a passenger. In my ride, my buddies, or a rental. AAA's got 24/7 expert help with tows, battery help, and more. Plus branch services like free passport photos and trip planning. Membership gives you all this and more for less than $6 a month. And I can add loved ones for half off. Call or visit your local branch today. AAA, your membership to go.
To 15-year-old Harper, buying an $80 vintage rock t-shirt is a great investment. To Harper's mom, this logic has a few holes in it. So she helped Harper open a Wells Fargo Clear Access banking account. With no overdraft fees and tools to track spending, Harper's learning, one heavy metal tee at a time. However you make money work, Wells Fargo can work with that.
Terms apply. Visit wellsfargo.com/deposit disclosures for fees and details.
Every day begins with the promise of something new, a new perspective, a fresh start. At Banner Health, right here, right now, we're pioneering new ways to treat cancer with our own immune systems. We're among the first to treat Parkinson's with the patient's own cells. And we're a world leader in artificial heart implantation, all while training over 1,300 doctors every year. Impressive, right? It's just another Banner day. Banner Health.
NAU men's basketball continues on both KAZG 1440 and KDUS AM 1060 this Thursday. Join the Lumberjacks as they look to defend home court against Eastern Washington. Head coach Shane Burkhardt knows his team has the tools they need in order to score another home win. Join Mitch Stroman on the call live. It's NAU versus Eastern Washington this Thursday. Pregame at 5:30 p.m. over on KAZG 1440 and tip-off at 6 also on KDUS AM 1060. $27 points last night for Mark Williams, the most he's scored this season as a member of the Phoenix Suns. I looked at the game logs earlier this morning. And I think if you add in the context of what last night's game was about, and what I mean by that is there was no Jalen Green. There was no Devin Booker. So the Phoenix Suns needed somebody else to step up. They didn't have Colin Gillespie. They needed somebody else to step up and score. And the guy that stepped up was Mark Williams. Now, I rarely do this. Producer Evan, I think we can count on one hand the number of times I do what I'm about to do on this show. I very rarely look backwards. I very rarely toot my own horn.
But you love a redraft. Looking back.
I do like looking backwards in that context. But I very rarely pull audio of something that I've said in the past. But when you say something that's just so on the nose, sometimes you have to just take the victory lap. Because this was 24 hours ago on this program. Mark Williams needs you to take over a game. I need a big-time offensive performance. I know what I'm going to get defensively. I know what I'm going to get in the rebound department. But Mark Williams, here's your chance to go for 20 and 10 on a regular basis because there's going to be opportunities aplenty. I mean, you can't do any better than that. I know he only had 6 rebounds last night. He went for 27 and 6. But we said, hey, Mark Williams, can you take over a game? That's exactly what he did last night. He scored 24 back in December against the Pelicans. He scored 20 against the Lakers early in the season, 22 against the Timberwolves. He had a couple of 20 spots early on, 25 against the Utah Jazz in a game the Suns lost in overtime. That was that opening losing streak that they had, 3-game losing streak at the start of the season. This is a player who, considering the context last night, played his best game as a Phoenix Sun. And credit where credit is due, by the way. Remember, this is a dude that's supposed to be playing on the Lakers right now. This is a guy who's supposed to be in the DeAndre Ayton role. A year ago, give or take, was traded from Charlotte to the Lakers. Lakers didn't like something in the medicals afterwards. They hit Adam Silver and the Charlotte Hornets with the Uno reverse card. Here you go, take him back. And then he's with Charlotte for the rest of the season. So now he's got to play for a team that doesn't want him. The Lakers said no. And then on draft night, he comes to the Phoenix Suns. The Phoenix Suns say, we want you, Mark Williams. We want you. The Lakers didn't want you. Charlotte didn't want you, but we want you. And this dude has not only been productive, but he's been healthy. And so credit to Mark Williams, credit to the organization, credit to Jordan Knott, the coaching staff, the medical staff. They have come up with a plan here. He hasn't been playing those back-to-backs. They have found a way here to keep him healthy and available to this team. And now you see what he did last night. Feed him the ball early. How do you get that on the regular? How does that become the norm? Because his previous 3 games out, 11 points in 24 minutes against the Heat, 6 points in 21 minutes against the Hawks on Friday, 4 points in 18 minutes on Tuesday against the 76ers. How do we get to the 27 and 6 on a regular basis? Because that is a difference maker. That is, and I'm not going to play the cut again, that's taking over a game. That's going for 20 and 10. That's taking advantage of the opportunities. And boy, were there so many opportunities given to Mark Williams, and he did the most with them. So that, I think, is very clearly his best game as a Phoenix Sun. And I think it's not only because it's the most points, but I think of when it came. It came at a time where the team needed somebody to step up and have a big-time performance. They needed somebody to step up and have a season-high performance. And Mark Williams did that. My takeaway is, can we find a way to do that on the regular? Can we find a way to make that the norm for Mark Williams? Because if you get that Mark Williams every night, in addition to Devin Booker, in addition to Jalen Green, in addition to Royce O'Neal and Grayson Allen and Dylan Brooks and Colin Gillespie, now you've got something. You've got something right now, but you've got even more of something if you can get that from Mark Williams every night.
You start to get that from Mark Williams every night, plus a healthy Suns roster. Honestly, think about where this team could be. With the center play they got last year, we're talking about a very different outlook on this season. Just how many games in?
50-something, 40-something.
I mean, this is... It feels like every night it could be a different guy for the Suns. You know, we've had Dylan Brooks games. We've had Mark Williams games. We've had Colin Gillespie. We've had Grayson Allen nights. Certainly have had Devin Booker nights. Jalen Green in his first game back the first time was awesome.
You have to designate which Jalen Green return you're talking about, because we've had 2, and we're going to have a third here pretty soon.
Yeah, the first return, first game back. So the first of his 4 games.
Yeah, he looked awesome.
He looked awesome. So my point is, you've had these stretches or these games where you're like, hey, it was that guy, it was that guy, it was that guy. So every night you could get a new guy. And in all honesty, what if they put it together? What does it look like then? Are we talking about a top 5 team in the Western Conference?
And that's why the takeaway is, how do we get the floor for Mark Williams to be closer to what you saw last night? 27 last night. You had his last 3 games combined. It doesn't match his 27. No. So how do we become more consistent? How do we get that? And it doesn't need to be 27 every night. I get it. There's one ball, right? And when Devin Booker and Dylan Brooks and Jalen Green and everybody's healthy and active and on the team, there's one basketball. But how do we get it to where on a regular basis he's going for 15? Because he can change a game. He's a difference maker when he is that active on the offensive end.
I mean, that's the best performance the Suns have had by a center
in decades, basically.
In all honesty, like DeAndre Ayton had a few nice games, but I don't remember him being that good.
No, And I'm sure he's had some games, if we went back and looked at it, where you may have in the moment felt like you did about Mark Williams' game last night. But it's been a while since they've had somebody at that position that's been as consistent as Mark Williams. And again, just a credit to this team. He's healthy. He's healthy. Charlotte didn't want him. They traded him. Lakers said, we don't like your medicals. We're trading you back. The Suns trade for him. And everyone's like, oh, you added another center. You added a off-injured center. What are you doing? Look what happens when you get somebody. You buy into that person. You believe in that player. You support that player. You put that player in a position to succeed. And he buys in because he can tell you've bought into him. Don't understate that part of this as well. Change of scenery? Yeah, for Mark Williams, it's been huge. He stayed healthy, and he's become a huge part of this Phoenix Suns team, and it was a great performance last night. 480-864-1060 is the phone number for you to join us here today on the program. We've got women's basketball, ASU women's basketball tonight. Territorial Cup. They take on U of A, 6 o'clock pregame. You can listen to it right here on KDUS AM 1060. And how about this? You want to go to a home game the rest of the way for ASU women's basketball? Pair of tickets. Right now, if you go to their website and you use the promo code 1060, you're going to get 2 tickets, $10.60. How about that?
Look at that.
So maybe
can't get that deal everywhere.
No, you can only get it by using the promo code 1060. So 2 women's basketball tickets for $10.60, because if you get it, they're on KDUS AM 1060, the promo code 1060, so you get 2 tickets for, I don't want to explain it any more than I just did. 2 women's basketball tickets for $10.60. You can get it for all the home games by using the promo code 1060. We'll put it out on our social media account, and it's also, the link is on KDUS1060.com. When we come back, has a new candidate entered the mix? And is that why LaFleur Watch has entered day 3? That's next, the lunch break, KDUS AM 1060.
An ASU women's basketball rivalry match right here on KDUS AM 1060. This Wednesday, join the Lady Sun Devils as they square off against Arizona. Head coach Molly Miller knows her team has what it takes to hit the court and win over the Wildcats. Join Jeff Munn on the call live from Tempe. It's ASU versus Arizona this Wednesday night. Pre-game at 6 p.m. and tip-off at 6:30 right here on KDUS AM 1060. Online at KDUS1060.com and on the KDUS 1060 app.
Florence and the Machine presents the Everybody Scream Tour. Live at Desert Diamond Arena, Saturday, May 9th. The incomparable Florence and the Machine returns. With special guest, Mannequin Pussy. On sale now at livenation.com. The new album, Everybody Scream, available now.
Everybody Scream.
Their own. With over 50 years of experience, Meineke's certified technicians will diagnose and fix any issue with precision and care. Schedule an appointment at Meineke.com. Trust your key with Meineke. Meineke, doing car care right.
Hey guys, if you have low T, it's time to get your edge back. Start testosterone therapy at Red Mountain Weight Loss and get a month of GLP-1 weight loss medications absolutely free. That's a $299 value. Listen, just because you're getting older doesn't mean you have to feel older. Prescription testosterone restores your get up and go, so you'll feel like you're 20 again. Get more muscle with less effort in the gym. You'll also think better, sleep better, and your love life will be better. Look, don't be fooled. Nothing boosts testosterone like actual testosterone. It's a game changer. And if you're looking to lose weight, there's nothing like the combo of testosterone and a GLP-1 medication. It'll burn that belly fat and get you ripped. This month, get free GLP-1 medication, a $299 value, when you start testosterone therapy only at Red Mountain Weight Loss. Book your video appointment today. Go to redmountainweightloss.com or dial pound 250 on your phone. Keyword Red Mountain. Time to get your edge back at Red Mountain Weight Loss.
Try the Chicken Melt Trio at Port of Subs. Protein packed with bold sauces and built to crush cravings. Order now at portofsubs.com.
Sliced fresh sandwiches, Port of Subs.
KDUS AM 1060 is your home for the Jim Rome Show.
Indiana is not cheating. Lining up and punching the other guy in the face for 60 minutes, not against the rules. I challenge any of you social media whistleblowers to tell Kurt Signetti to his face that he is a cheater.
The Jim Rome Show, 1 to 4 p.m. Monday through Friday, here on KDUS AM 1060. Online at KDUS1060.com and on the KDUS 1060 app.
Back here on the lunch break, KDUS AM 1060. Chris Schubert, producer Evan with you, wrapping up hour number 1 here of the program. You can stream the show on the KDUS AM 1060 app. You can also watch the show over on the KDUS AM 1060 YouTube channel. Has a new candidate entered the mix? And is that the reason why the Arizona Cardinals have allowed LaFleur Watch to enter day 3?
LaFleur.
There was a report dropped late last night that the Arizona Cardinals reportedly will be meeting later on this week with Seattle Seahawks offensive coordinator Clint Kubiak. Now, Kubiak can take interviews this week. He is unable to take interviews next week. And technically, it is a rule that the NFL has that you can't sign a deal if you are on a team that is still coaching and playing in the Super Bowl. But I guess you could wink, wink, nudge, nudge, have an agreement in place and leak that out to the media, and it's not actually official. But if you want to actually hire Clint Kubiak, you can't do it until the Monday after the Super Bowl, 2 weeks from now. But apparently they are going to meet with him. Now, that same report, I think it was Tony Pauline who put that report out there. In that same report, Clint Kubiak is looking at the Raiders gig, or he's looking at going back to Seattle to remain the offensive coordinator. And so that got me thinking, if that's really what Clint Kubiak's thinking is, he's interested in the Raiders gig. If not, he'll go back to Seattle. Then why is he taking this reported interview with the Arizona Cardinals? I understand you want to be a head coach, right? And if he's interested in the Raiders, I could understand why he would sit down with them. But he's got a Super Bowl to get ready for. He's trying to win a championship. Why would you concern yourself with interviews if you're not seriously interested in the job, right? And let's just put ourselves in Clint Kubiak's shoes for a second. Just won the NFC, trying to win a championship. My name is a potential candidate. There's 2 jobs available. I need every piece of my bandwidth focusing on trying to defeat the New England Patriots, scheme for this Patriots defense, and also the head coaching interviews, in this case, the Raiders, that I'm apparently really interested in. Why would I take up my time? Listen, I'm a radio host. I'm not a football coach, and I'm certainly not getting ready to coach in the Super Bowl, but I'm very particular about my time. I have the rest of my day from the moment this show is over basically planned out almost to the minute. You don't think a football coach is playing in a Super Bowl is pretty close? He's got a very similar type schedule where he knows exactly what he's doing every single day. So why would he concern himself with an interview if he's not actually seriously interested in the job? So that leads me to 2 questions. One, does he actually even take the interview? Does an interview even happen with the 2 sides? And second, maybe he is more interested in this job than the original reporting has led on. Now, would you rather Clint Kubiak? Or would you rather Mike LaFleur? I think the answer is pretty obvious. Producer Evan had Clint Kubiak as his number 1. I had Clint Kubiak as my number 2. We both had him in front of Mike LaFleur. Give me the guy in Seattle who's coaching in the Super Bowl that kept the resurgence of Sam Darnold atop my list. Right? Give me that guy. Now, Michael over on YouTube says this could just be leverage, maybe to get the Raiders to pay more. It's a theory. But do you really want to play the leverage game right now while you're trying to get ready for a Super Bowl? And also, you don't need leverage. The Raiders want you. The leverage is you can tell them, I'm going to stay in Seattle. That's the leverage. The leverage is I'm going to keep my really good job and coach the Seattle Seahawks and try to go for back-to-back. And if the Raiders really want you, if they really want you and they're not competing against anybody else, you've got leverage. Because you can look at them and say, who are you going to get that's better than me? Because who's still out there? Do the exercise. Who's still out there that's a top candidate? Anthony Campanelli and Grant Udinski said they're not going anywhere. You can call the bluff. Tell the Raiders, all right, you want to hire Brian Dable? Go ahead. Hire Brian Dable. Call the bluff. So to me, there's no benefit for Clint Kubiak to take this interview unless, 1, he's seriously interested, or 2, this interview doesn't actually happen. And it's kind of leaked out there to maybe create some leverage, to your point, Michael. But it's leverage that doesn't actually have to be followed up on because you don't have to actually take the interview. I want Clint Kubiak. I don't see a world where he picks this Arizona Cardinals, where he picks this gig. He's better off having another year of working with Sam Darnold, putting up great numbers offensively, and getting one of the 7 or 8 jobs that's going to be available next offseason. The Jets are going to be available next offseason, more than likely, the way things are trending. They've got a ton of picks in next year's class, so you can take a quarterback and run an offense your way. Kyle Shanahan, who knows what his future is going to be like in San Francisco. That job might open up. What's going to happen in New Orleans? There's going to be plenty. There'll be plenty of opportunities next year if you're Clint Kubiak. So you can just focus on the Super Bowl. Now, is the fact that the Cardinals want to talk to Clint Kubiak proof that they weren't sold on LaFleur? Is it proof that they may have gotten some cold feet? Is it proof that maybe in the middle of the 2-day interview, they got wind that Clint Kubiak would actually talk to them? And because Michael Bidwell and Monty Ossenfort want attention and they want to feel good and they want to be seen and noticed and they want to be wanted, that they're going to press pause on their Mike LaFleur pursuit to talk to Clint Kubiak? Maybe that's what's going on here. I think Clint Kubiak is a better candidate for the Arizona Cardinals than Mike LaFleur. The work with Sam Darnold, actually calling the plays for a defensive-minded coach, another coach that's coached in this division for a really long time, the family lineage that Clint Kubiak has. A lot of reasons why I like Clint Kubiak and a lot of reasons why you would take him over LaFleur. But I just don't see why this late in the process, all of a sudden, Clint Kubiak is now going to want to talk to you.
I don't know. You know what I do know? I do know that you and I yesterday kind of wondered aloud if the Bills were impatient, and that's why they went with Joe Brady. If you were going to get a Kubiak interview this week, were you really going to hire Joe Brady? And let's not sit here and say, wow, the Raiders are a perfect ownership as well. They're certainly not.
No, but
while they're in a better situation than the Cardinals, when's the last time the Raiders have been knocking on the door of a Super Bowl?
No, I hear you, but it's $100 million in cap space. It's the number 1 overall pick, so it's probably Fernando Mendoza. There are draws to that job in particular. But if you're Clint Kubiak, why would you add more to your plate? Again, I'm just looking at the report. The report says that Kubiak is interested in the Raiders job, or if that doesn't pan out, he's interested in just returning to Seattle. So let's just take that at face value. Then why are you going to take an interview later on this week, whether that's today, tomorrow, Friday? It's got to be this week. It's got to be in the next couple of days. And the closer we get to the Super Bowl, the more Clint Kubiak's attention has to be on that game. So you would have to assume it's going to happen in the next 24, 36 hours.
And
why would you take an interview with a team that you're not actually interested in?
That's my biggest thing.
It's a waste of time on everybody's part. And if you're the Cardinals, you run the risk of ticking off Mike LaFleur to where he pulls an Anthony Campanelli, a Jesse Minter to Cleveland and says, you know what, thanks, but no thanks. I'm good.
This isn't Mike LaFleur, whose season is over.
If you take this interview, you better be darn sure that it's a serious one. You better be darn sure it is a serious interview. Maybe they can pull off this coup. Not so sure. Hour number 1 of the program in the books. Hour number 2 coming up next, the lunch break. KDUS, AM 1060.
AM 1060 KDUS Tempe Phoenix and KSLX HD2 Scottsdale Phoenix. Life can change in an instant. If you're hurt in a car, truck, or motorcycle accident, everything can feel overwhelming. The pain, the stress, and the uncertainty of what comes next. You don't have to go through it alone. The attorneys at Sweet James understand the physical, emotional, and financial impact an accident can have. They're here to help you navigate the legal process and pursue the compensation you may be entitled to under the law. When you call Sweet James, you're connecting with a team of attorneys experienced in handling serious injury cases. Their work is driven by preparation, advocacy, and a genuine commitment to helping clients clients seek accountability and justice. Every case is different, and outcomes depend on the specific facts involved. If you've been injured in an accident, call the attorneys at Sweet James for your free case review. They handle everything for you so you can focus on healing. That's the Sweet James advantage. Help available 24/7. If you've been injured, call Sweet James for a free case review. Hablamos Español. 800-9000000. 800-900-0000. SweetJames.com. This advertisement is paid for by Sweet James LLP. Responsible attorney, Bobby Tick Heavy. Offices in California. No guarantee of results.
John Mellencamp. Dancing Words Tour. The greatest hits. August 9th. Talking Stick Resort Amphitheater. Tickets are on sale now at livenation.com. John Mellencamp. Part of the America First Credit Union Concert Series.
Maybe you've had your eye on a Fulton home. The premium craftsmanship, thoughtfully designed floor plans, resort-style amenities, and award-winning communities across the valley. A place where every detail feels intentional. For many buyers, homeownership can feel out of reach. But now, owning a Fulton home is more attainable than ever. With special pricing, limited time incentives, and interest rate buydowns on select homes, now is the right moment to make your move. From beautifully designed interiors to the legendary quality Fulton Homes is known for, every detail is built to stand the test of time. Visit any Fulton Homes community today or go to fultonhomes.com. Fulton Homes. You're proud to own. We're proud to build.
For nearly 25 years, Primavera has helped thousands of Arizona students succeed with an accredited world-class education, tuition-free and from home. Don't wait. Enroll today at chooseprimavera.com. That's chooseprimavera.com.
AM 1060 KDUS Tempe Phoenix and KSLX HD2 Scottsdale Phoenix.
Hour number 2 of the lunch break here on KDUS AM 1060, streaming on the KDUS AM 1060 app. And you can watch us over on the KDUS AM 1060 YouTube channel. Chris Schubert, producer Evan, hanging out with you. We've got a top 5 list. This is a producer Evan special here today. This is your list. This is your idea.
Correct.
We're going to rank the head coach hiring so far.
Correct.
And we normally do 5 with some HMs. Lucky for us, there have only been 8 hirings so far. Really fits into the 5 plus the 3 HMs perfectly. That the Raiders.
You're really going to rate them 1 through 8.
I am going to rank them 1 through 5 with 3 HMs. That's what I'm going to do. What we normally do.
Which would probably give you a pretty good look to who's 8 through 1.
Well, you don't know that. You don't know that because let me tell you right now. Hot take. Pittsburgh Steelers not going to make the list. So somebody that hasn't hired somebody is actually going to be put higher on the list than the Pittsburgh Steelers. So
are they higher than the Bills?
You're going to have to wait and come back in 15 minutes and see who's on the top 5 list. Right now, though.
What if the Cardinals hire Vance Joseph?
Okay, listen, I'm assuming for this scenario LaFleur is going to be the next head coach of the Arizona Cardinals. But if it's Vance Joseph, they're going to occupy that other spot. But that's in 10 minutes. Right now, a little buy or sell.
Hottest takes.
Hottest takes in the Valley. Hottest sports takes in the Valley right here during this segment. I don't know what's coming. Apparently, one was added in the middle of the show today. Who knows? What do we got?
The Cardinals won't make their head coach hire this week.
I will sell this take. And here's why I will sell this take. I still think LaFleur is going to be the guy. I think they're going to touch base with Kubiak. They're going to look him in the eye. They're going to say, do you really want this job? And they're going to get the feeling like, no, not really. And they'll pivot back. Maybe by the end of the day, we might just get Mike LaFleur.
You think so?
My guess is at this point, they're going to see this.
I mean, they have an interview on the books.
Well, yeah, this reported interview. Let me tell you, I haven't seen Adam Schefter report this.
No.
I haven't seen Tom Pelissaro, Ian Rappaport report this. So it's just, at this point, a reported interview. None of the local guys are reporting it. Nobody's reporting a Clint Kubiak interview. It was a national report from a reporter who does some solid work saying, hey, they're going to have an interview. So let's see.
Yeah.
But yes, I think by the time we close up on Friday, the Cardinals will have their next head coach. And his name?
LaFleur. The deal with
LaFleur
isn't signed because they got a word of a Clint Kubiak might be interested.
Maybe we just misread this thing the whole time, right? Maybe Mike LaFleur being first wasn't because he was the Cardinals guy. It was just because it was the first thing they were able to schedule.
It's true, too.
I mean, it could be.
It's the 2-day thing that throws everything off.
It's the 2-day thing. It's the leaking of the dinner that made you think, man, this is a full court press. You don't do this if you're looking at Raheem Morris or Anthony Campanelli. Campanelli withdraws. He says he's going back to Jacksonville as the DC. Like, it was all lining up here. That's why you're surprised that you get to today and nothing. And not even things went well.
Nothing.
Nothing. Not
Literally
even an
nothing.
update. He could still be here for all we know. So I don't know if the reason why we're still doing this is because they got wind of Clint Kubiak being interested. Maybe this was part of their process the whole time. They wanted to meet with LaFleur for 2 days. They knew they were going to have Kubiak later in the week. So they're going to meet with him, and they're going to regroup and make a decision. Maybe that was the plan the whole time. I'm not saying it's a great plan. I'm just saying that might have been their plan the whole time.
So you're selling.
I'm selling.
Terrible plan.
Kodo on YouTube just says, Jim Schwartz just angrily left the Browns. I don't know how you pull it off because he's going to have a lot of offers. If you can get Mike LaFleur and get Jim Schwartz as your DC.
Well, did you see he was pretty much going to be the head coach?
Well, and then they pivoted to Todd Monken, and he apparently told some people in the building today that I'm leaving and I'm never coming back because he got passed over.
Yes. Just want to be very clear, by the way, still the best move for the Browns.
Monken over Schwartz?
Yes.
They've got to solve the quarterback situation. But I do think Monken sets them up better.
And
hold on. Two things can be true, though. Monken is a better fit. It very much seems like they strung Jim Schwartz along.
Yeah.
Monken is a good hire, but I don't necessarily love how they got to Todd Monken and what they did to Jim Schwartz in the process.
100%. I don't disagree. Would you like to go through Jim Schwartz's records as a head coach?
I'm not hiring him as a head coach. I'm hiring him as a DC. I'm not saying you interview him for the head coach gig. As a defensive coordinator, sign me up.
He's terrible. Terrible head coach, and they made the right move. Congratulations to Cleveland Browns.
Congratulations.
It's not often you can say that. The Suns will trade Nick Richards before the trade deadline.
He's the guy that gets them under the luxury tax, right? That's why
Correct.
You're bringing him up. He's the magic contract because he is the perfect mix of he makes enough for it to put a dent into the luxury tax, and he's also a player that isn't playing enough for this team, so it won't upset the apple cart too much.
Both of those are very correct.
Yeah, I think if they do something, that's what it'll end up being.
So we are buying
Nick
Richards.
This. I'm also working on my top 5 list while we're doing the buy or sell. I got my top 3 pretty well formulated.
Okay.
It's the back part of this list
it becomes tough. This is USA's best World Baseball Classic team.
The pitching on this team is way better than the last go around. That was the problem with the last team that they had in 22. They had great hitters. They couldn't pitch. I'd have to look at some of the older WBC teams.
Okay, so I've kind of gone back here.
You
want me to
close.
give you some of these?
Give me like the first WBC team.
Yeah, so I believe this is 2006's. Clemens at the end.
I know, but still, it's Roger Clemens.
Al Leiter.
Yeah, I mean,
Jake Peavy. Dontrell Willis.
I mean,
bullpen's pretty good.
I mean, that's an all-star level rotation.
Wait until you get to this 2006 bullpen. Remember the year. Houston Street.
Elite closer.
Joe Nathan.
Elite closer.
Scott Shields, Brad Lidge, Chad Cordero, Brian Fuentes.
This is 2006 is the team.
Catchers, Jason Varitek. All right, here are the infielders. Jeter, your least favorite player ever, Chipper Jones, Derek Lee, A-Rod, Mark Teixeira, Chase Utley.
This team is better.
Michael Young.
I will take the 2016.
I got to be honest. You're looking at this team. It is wild how good this team is. We haven't even gotten to the outfielders yet. Johnny Damon, Jeff Francoeur, Ken Griffey Jr.
I will take the 2006 WBC team, please. So I will sell the take.
Yeah. How often do they do this? Every other year?
I think it's every. Is it every 4 years? Do we do it?
It would be what, a 2010?
Well, hold on. We can do the math. If we did it in 06, 10, 14, 18, 22, 26 would work on a 4-year cycle.
Yeah.
Now, if it was 2, it would be 10, 12, 14, 16, 18, 20. We didn't do one in 20. 22, 24, 26. And we didn't do one 2 years ago, did we?
Yeah, but we did one when I was in college.
The last one we did was Ohtani Trout. And they were teammates.
Yeah.
So Ohtani has been with the Dodgers for 2 seasons now. He was there in 24. So it was not that year. It was 22 was the last WBC. It's every 4 years.
Okay.
I mean, you can check me. You have 17 monitors in front of you. You know what I have in front of me?
LaFleur.
That's all I got. I can't look anything up on these monitors.
Well, now I'm looking into
You're looking into another year's squad.
Yeah, I'm just trying to find the 2010 roster. I don't know, because it was in 2009.
So we do it every 3 years?
But that doesn't make sense.
That doesn't make sense. Hold on. Let me break out the tablet here.
How often?
World Baseball Classic. World Baseball Classic.
Every 4 years.
Thank you.
2006, 2009, 2013, 2017, 2023.
2026. So we keep saying every 4 years, but it's not really every
It's a bold-faced lie.
This is not every 4 years.
It's a bold-faced lie. All right, 2009.
In Japan won in 06. Japan won in 2009. Japan won in 2023. The U.S. has won once. They won in 2017.
Yeah, what a terrible. All right, the 2010 roster. Are you ready?
The 2010 roster?
Yeah.
All right, give me the 2010 roster.
All right.
What do you mean? You mean the 2009 roster? What are you doing to me?
Sorry. This roster stinks.
The 2009 roster?
Comparatively. Infielders: Jimmy Rollins, Derek Jeter, David Wright, Brian Roberts, Mark DeRosa, Chipper Jones, Dustin Pedroia.
That's not a bad group.
Catcher: Brian McCann. Outfielders: Adam Dunn for some power. Ryan Braun. I guess they also had Kevin Youkilis, who's randomly put out here. Curtis Granderson and Shane Victorino. Oh, they also added Evan Longoria late, this says. Didn't know that was allowed.
The 2013 team is not very good. Willie Bloomquist, Brandon Phillips, Jimmy Rollins.
Willie made a team?
Willie was on the team, yeah. Eric Hosmer, David Wright, Ben Zobrist. The outfielders were Ryan Braun, Adam Jones, Giancarlo Stanton. This is the team that won, right?
No, 2017 won.
2017.
I got that roster here. Give me a second.
Is this roster good?
I know Giancarlo Stanton hit that home run off the building.
We've got Posey. We've got Nolan, Bregman, Crawford, Goldie, Hosmer, Kinsler, Murphy, Jones, McCutcheon, Stanton, Yelich. Oh, yeah.
Again, though, the pitchers aren't great.
No, this is not a great group of pitchers. But we had a great manager in Jim Leland, you know? So I will take the 2016, just to tie this back into the original take. So I will sell the take.
So, is this the second best team?
We'll find out depending on how they play.
That's also true.
I like this roster quite a bit.
I do too. All right. Kenny Dillingham will get a call from an NFL team in the next few years.
No. Kenny Dillingham will not get a call from a NFL team.
Okay.
Sell.
Why?
How do I phrase this in the best possible way? Kenny's a really good college coach.
Age have anything to do with it?
Well, no. I mean, Sean McVay's like 12 coaching. So the Cardinals are going to hire Mike LaFleur. He's 38. So, no, that doesn't. I just don't know if that translates.
That's fair.
I just don't know.
Yeah, I mean, it works sometimes, doesn't work other times.
Like Marcus Freeman gives me NFL coach vibes.
Yeah, and so does Kurt Signetti.
Kenny Dillingham gives me really great offensive coordinator vibes at the NFL level.
He's Joe Brady.
He's Mike McDaniel.
Good head coach.
Todd Monken.
Great head coach.
We don't know that just yet. No, I don't think he'll get a phone call.
All right, that's it.
That's all you have.
That's all I got.
Wednesday edition of Buy or Sell in the books. 480-864-1060 is the phone number. You want to hang out with us here today on the program. You can listen on the KDUS AM 1060 app, and you can listen for your chance to win 2 tickets to the MLB Players Trust Playmakers Classic at Warehouse 215 on Wednesday, February 18th. When we come back, it's a Wednesday, which means we've got a top 5 list for you. We are ranking the head coach vacancies that have been filled thus far. Which jobs have we felt the teams have done the best with? We'll get to that next. The lunch break, KDUS AM 1060.
James Out West, your desert destination for sports here in the Valley.
Not surprised that the Cardinals aren't in. They fired their head coach. Kyler Murray's probably on his way out. It is what they like to call Black Monday. I'm kind of surprised by the Raheem Morris one in Atlanta. It's only been how long? Year? 2 years. So maybe that one. Pete Carroll gone. I told you from the jump when they hired Pete Carroll, I didn't like the hire. I think he's past his due. Let him go after year 1. You might as well have kept the guy you had before and saved a bunch of money.
Every other Monday night from 6 to 7 p.m. here on KDUS AM 1060. The Marshall Tucker Band. Get ready for a night of legendary Southern rock and sing along to all the classics. The Marshall Tucker Band with special guest Firefall, bringing their timeless hits. February 28th at the Celebrity Theater. Tickets on sale now at celebritytheater.com. The Marshall Tucker Band and Firefall, brought to you by Danny Salisco Presents.
A noisy garage door is a cry for help that often requires only simple maintenance. However, if left untreated, could lead to costly repairs. Hi, I'm Tommy Mello from A1 Garage Door Service. Don't wait until a simple garage door repair becomes a major problem. If your garage door is noisy, if bugs are getting in, or if it struggles to open, your garage door is in need of repair. From simple repairs to upgrades, it's A1 from day one. We fix garage doors fast and with quality parts designed to last a lifetime. Our springs, rollers, and openers are tested by running them up and down, open and closed, all day, 24/7, so you can feel confident with every A1 garage door repair. Replacing the bottom rubber on your garage door can have a huge impact on the number of bugs you see in your garage and in your home. Keep those creepy crawlers outside by calling A1 Garage Door Service today and receive the best service, best parts, and best warranty in the industry.
A1Garage.com. A1 from day one.
Call today and take advantage of our $29.95 tune-up special.
Casino Arizona is uniquely Arizona. Feel at home with the Valley's one true locals casino, from the welcoming, friendly smiles to the slot win high five celebrations. Picture yourself with the coolest cast at our blackjack tables. Dine like a rock star at our buffet or Choya Steakhouse, where even the steaks are famous. Want to stack up rewards while having fun at your favorite casino? Join Salt River Rewards, and the excitement keeps rising with every return visit. Casino Arizona, uniquely Arizona. You must be 21 years of age or older. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-NEXT-STEP.
I'm Dan Patrick, and this is Above the Noise. Bill Belichick not being a first-ballot Hall of Famer is a decision that's going to demand serious explanation. He won 8 Super Bowls, 6 as a head coach, built a dynasty, has more playoff wins than any other coach in NFL history, and stepped away from the league second on the all-time wins list. By every reasonable standard the Hall of Fame claims to value, this should have been a mere formality. Instead, reports indicate the Patriots' past scandals weighed against his candidacy. Deflate Deflategate, a game the Patriots won 45-7. Spygate, alleged illegal filming of a regular season opponent, the Jets of all teams, is now the deciding factor in keeping him out of the Hall of Fame. Well, temporarily. The precedent was already set with Patriots owner Robert Kraft, and against that backdrop, this omission feels less like principle and more like selective outrage. Delaying his induction doesn't protect that mission. It just smells of sour grapes. I'm Dan Patrick, and this is Above the Noise. DraftKings Sportsbook, an official sports betting partner of Super Bowl 60, puts you right in the center of the biggest game of the year. And when anything can happen during the Super Bowl, DraftKings has your back with an early exit. If a player goes down in the first half, you still get paid out in cash immediately once your bet settles. Download the DraftKings Sportsbook app now. Use code Patrick. Code Patrick to turn $5 into $300 in bonus bets if your bet wins. In partnership with DraftKings, the crown is yours.
Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER. New York, call 877-8-HOPE-NY or text HOPE-NY. Connecticut, call 888-789-7777 or visit ccpg.org. On behalf of Boot Hill Casino in Kansas, wager tax pass-through may apply in Illinois. 21 plus in most states, void in Ontario. Restrictions apply. Bet must win to receive bonus bets which expire in 7 days. Minimum odds required. For additional terms and responsible gaming resources, see dkng.co/audio. Limited time offer.
KDUS AM 1060 is your home for the Jim Rome Show.
I'm not here to bury Mike Tomlin, but the fact is, this absolutely is the right move. He did the right thing, and he fired himself. All good things come to an end. Going a decade without winning a single playoff game is not meeting the standard.
The Jim Rome Show, 1 to 4 p.m. Monday through Friday, here on KDUS AM 1060. Online at KDUS1060.com and on the KDUS 1060 app.
Back here on the lunch break, KDUS AM 1060. We've got a list today on a Wednesday. 8 of the 10 head coach openings have been filled. So we thought it would be an interesting list idea to rank these openings, these vacancies that have been filled. So it's the normal, it's the standard. 3 HMs in a top 5. You want to go first?
Yeah, I can go first. So you want me to give you all 3 HMs?
That's what we normally do, right?
Okay. Yes, it is. All right, my first HM.
I think, how about this for a take? We're going to have the same 5 teams, 1 through 5. Not in the same order, maybe, but we will have the same 5 teams.
You think so?
It's a prediction of mine. I'm predicting. Now, when the first team out of your mouth as an HM is a team that I have in the top 5, I'll get proven very, very wrong. But I'll stand on business. 1 through 5, we'll have the same 5 teams.
Okay. My HMs. The Pittsburgh Steelers. And if I could keep them off the list and they didn't, for a team that didn't make a hire, if I felt that was appropriate, because listen, the Cardinals could still, if the Ravens were still looking, I would have the Ravens higher on this list. I don't trust the Cardinals. I don't trust the Raiders, so they can't be higher.
I hear you.
So for me, first HM, Mike McCarthy, that was the worst hire until you had an owner come out and bash. And I'm talking about bash a coaching staff and then promote from within. So my second HM, Joe Brady. And not because I think this is a terrible hire, but because everything that circled around them. You went up there, you said the coaching staff did this, the coaching staff did that. You made the wrong move in not firing the GM as well, and then hired internally. It is, and I mean this in the nicest way, the dumbest offseason I have seen from an owner and a GM in football in years. Other than maybe the Raiders last year who drafted a running back and hired Pete Carroll. And my last HM is the Miami Dolphins, Jeff Hafley. And I know, again, don't dislike Jeff Hafley. He just doesn't get me as excited as the next 5 do.
My HMs. I have Miami. I have Buffalo.
but I went to a place that you weren't comfortable going. The Raiders are going to hire a better coach than Mike McCarthy. Give me the Raiders as an HM. Haven't hired anybody yet. Still going to be a better hire than Mike McCarthy.
My biggest thing.
I don't trust the Cardinals. I do not trust Michael Bidwell and Monty Ossenford. But we got Tom Brady involved on the Raiders side. I feel comfortable saying.
They had him involved last year, and they brought in Pete Carroll.
Maybe I don't think he was that involved. Now he's going to put his foot down and say, we're doing this my way. We did it your way. Pete Carroll had that work out for us. This is going to be – because who are the candidates? Clint Kubiak? Brian Daboll? That's better than Mike McCarthy. That's better.
Is Daboll?
Daboll is better than Mike McCarthy, yes.
It's close, Jim.
It's close, Jim, but you know what? I'll give it to the Raiders.
Okay. If it's Kubiak, they may be 2.
Oh, no. If it's Kubiak, they're in the top 5. No doubt. Slam dunk.
My number 5 team. Are you ready for this?
Okay.
I think you're going to think it's too low. But I think it's the correct answer.
Okay.
The Tennessee Titans.
Oh, it's too low.
Have hired Robert Saleh.
It's too low.
And here's my thought. And my only problem with it is if they bring in Brian Daboll, I like it a lot more.
Well, he's going to be there unless he gets the Raiders.
Yeah, but if he does, then they don't have an offensive coordinator yet with a second-year, first overall pick quarterback.
They can just bring in Cliff Kingsbury or something.
I wanted a team to have an offensive mind to work with a young quarterback we love. And let's face it, this hire, well, I think Sal is a good football coach, could hurt the growth and development of Cam Ward.
I hear you. I have it higher just because I think they got it right on both sides. They got a defensive-minded guy in there. I'll save most of my thoughts for when I have Tennessee on my list. But I have a lot of reasons why I think they picked the right guy at head coach and the trickle-down effect that will have. My number 5. The Cleveland Browns and Todd Monken on the list. Look, this was always going to be a tough job to fill. I think Cleveland and Arizona were viewed as the 2 jobs that most people didn't want. And so I think to end up getting one of the brighter offensive minds currently in the game in Todd Monken, there's still a lot of work to do. You have a quarterback mess to clean up. I don't know. You do have a Pro Bowler that can play quarterback for you next season. I understand that. But you have a lot of work to do. You've got 2 draft picks, 2 first-round draft picks to help Todd Monken out. He's a veteran coach. I think to go from to fire Kevin Stefanski, listen, I don't think that was the right decision. But to go from Kevin Stefanski to Todd Monken, there's not that large of a drop-off as I originally feared.
My number 4,
the Cleveland Browns.
Todd Monken. Listen, I think this is a good hire. I think this is a guy that I was really interested in. He's not he's an innovative mind, but he's not the young, innovative offensive coordinator because he's not young. This is a really good hire. This is a really good hire from them. And from a job that I thought nobody wanted a day and a half ago to go get a guy like Todd Monken, I was shocked they were able to get it done. And you said it best. They have a lot of holes to fill, pretty much all over the offense. But they went offensive mind for a roster that is, let's face it, fine defensively. They are fine defensively. They will be fine. They lost Jim Schwartz. Okay, they'll find somebody to fill that role. And they'll be fine with the talent they have defensively.
My number 4. I think you're going to tell me I'm too low. I have the Atlanta Falcons and Kevin Stefanski, number 4.
I mean, it is too low. But I don't have that much higher.
You have number 3? Yeah, so that you're in the spot, right? I like Kevin Stefanski. I think he has a lot to work with there in Atlanta. I do think what knocks them down a peg for me on this list is that it was just so obvious that this fit made sense that it's not as splashy as some of the other ones on the list, right? The number 1 team, it was the obvious fit once it happened, but it is also splashy.
It also needed to happen.
Yes.
It needed to be a chain reaction.
So I've got Atlanta at number 4. Stefanski going to be a great coach down there in Atlanta. A lot of good pieces. But I just like what 2 other teams did in front of Atlanta.
Number 3.
Kevin Stefanski, the Atlanta Falcons.
The Atlanta Falcons. And The 2-time coach of the year takes his talents to Atlanta. Matt Ryan just seeds out there. He's doing a great job. First thing he did, he changed the jerseys so they don't say ATL anymore. Hopefully they say Falcons or Atlanta. And it's just going to be way better there. They're going to look like a real football team. And they're going to play like one, too, now because they have a great head coach with a ton of talent. Michael Penix Jr., not the guy. Kirk Cousins, certainly not the guy. They're going to need to find a quarterback, and no first-round pick this year hurts. But from a head coach perspective, they got this really right, and it was not a perfect situation to find their head coach. So credit to them because, yeah, it was a good fit. But this is a job without a first-round pick and without a quarterback.
My number 3, and I have them this high just because they made a really tough decision. And I don't know if it's one that I actually ultimately agree with. But they made a tough decision, fired a long-standing head coach, and they ended up getting one of the top candidates in this cycle. And so I'm putting them up this high because of that. I have the Baltimore Ravens at number 3. It's not easy to fire somebody like John Harbaugh, who's won a Super Bowl there, has been there a long time, and to end up getting one of the top candidates in this cycle. That's a hard thing to do. It's a hard thing to come out the other side and for many to feel like you're okay in the coaching department, right? You fire John Harbaugh, there's a decent chance you're going to bring in somebody that's not going to live up to that bill. And I don't know if Jesse Minter is going to live up to that bill, but from everybody who's been following this coaching cycle, they feel like the Ravens got one of the best candidates available this year and somebody who's familiar to them in Baltimore, so that should help them hit the ground running. And so to make that tough move and to somehow still end up getting a good hire, they kind of threaded a needle. And so I wanted to give them credit for that, so I put them at number 3.
It's just a move that, I don't know.
I don't know if it's going to work out.
Yeah.
But I think when you originally fired John Harbaugh, your concern is, man, we could get a lot worse in the coaching department.
Yeah.
And we haven't seen a single second of Jesse Minter as a head coach. But my initial gut reaction is they didn't downgrade that much.
No, and that's why they're my number 2. And it makes a ton of sense. Like, this was another one, and I think all 3 of these open up at the top of, wow, that seems like a perfect fit, right? Like, Minter kind of felt like a perfect fit in Baltimore from the minute that job opened. Harbaugh, sorry, I didn't want to give away my number 1. My number 1 felt like a perfect fit, and Stefanski felt like a perfect fit. And Minter in Baltimore just feels right. It feels like he can still create that culture that they've had for so long. I just think, listen, they struggled in the secondary at times over the last few years. They're going to need some help, and defensively they need to be better. You need to be in a position where Lamar can make 5 to 6 ridiculous plays a game, which he does already, and you can win.
My number 2, I've got the Tennessee Titans here at number 2. I think it was a great decision to go out and get Robert Saleh to beef up your defense when you have $100+ million in cap space and you have a top 5 pick in the draft. I think it was great on Robert Saleh to pick a situation where the quarterback question is mostly settled. He's not walking into the situation he walked into in New York, where things went wrong for Saleh in New York, and he did have a part in this. He had a seat at that table. They decided to move on from Sam Darnold. They felt like Zach Wilson was the right pick. They picked him at number 2, and it never got going. But this dude was able to win 7 games with Zach Wilson playing quarterback for him. You've now taken that decision off the table for him in his second go-around. You've got Cam Ward. He so far has done an excellent job in building out a staff because he's got Brian Dable to run that offense and to get the most out of a young quarterback in Cam Ward. And he can focus on what he is excellent at, and that is putting together a great game plan every week defensively. I love this for Tennessee. I think they got the right guy who's bringing the right staff with him to help develop a young quarterback in Cam Ward and to utilize that cap space to the fullest. So I've got the Tennessee Titans at number 2, and there's really no suspense. The best job vacancy that was filled was the Giants getting John Harbaugh. He just instantaneously changes the floor of that team. Instantaneously, you think that team at worst is going to win 7 games.
Number 1 is a playoff team. I don't think we've read another playoff team other than maybe the Ravens just because of the way the organization is built. The New York Giants are a playoff team.
I don't know. I got a lot of questions about the rest of that offense around Dart. I have questions about the offensive line. I have questions about the health of the running back room. Who's going to pair with Neighbors? Is Neighbors going to be able to stay healthy? I got questions.
Certainly. But you know where I don't have. You know where I had my biggest question last year.
At the head coach.
Dable cannot coach.
I'm with
as a head coach.
I'm with you.
And
the floor is higher.
It is evidently clear 2 years ago and last year. And when you have a quarterback leave your facility and then play great until he gets hurt, it's a bad look on the head coach. You ran him out of town.
I hear you. I am quite all right with saying that the Giants are going to be at least a 7-win football team next year, and depending on what they do in free agency and the draft, it could very easily be I picked them to win the division. I'm totally there with you. The biggest needle mover in terms of changing the short-term outlook and the floor and the ceiling of a team was John Harbaugh, no questions asked. So there you have it.
They feel like, and I'll give you the Patriots are in the Super Bowl. They won 4 games last year.
Right. If you get the right coach, it can change everything, and the Giants feel like they got the right coach. So there you have it, our lists ranking the head coach hiring so far in the NFL this off season. When we come back, 480-864-1060 is the phone number if you want to hop into the program. You can listen on the KDUS AM 1060 app, or you can listen for your chance to win 2 tickets to the MLB Players Trust Playmakers Classic at Warehouse 215 on Wednesday, February 18th. When we come back, are the Cardinals playing 4D chess? That's next, the lunch break, KDUS AM 1060.
Join in on the Sports Zoo with Dave Rooster Beerstein.
Rams and Seahawks, Andy. I don't understand how to be so aggressive. Instead of definitely going up 13-10, your play calls resulted in a quick punt, so quick that Seattle actually gets the ball back, goes down the field and takes a lead, and then they get the jump on you in the second half with that fumbled punt. And that was a huge mistake by the Rams. But I'm going to go back to how they mismanaged that at halftime.
Live weekdays from 5 to 6 p.m. here on KDUS AM 1060 and on the KDUS 1060 app.
9 Inch Nails. Live at Desert Diamond Arena, Friday, March 6th. Get tickets now at NIN.com. 9 Inch Nails. Live in Glendale. Peel It Back Tour 2026.
At CertaPro Painters, we know that a happy place comes in many colors, like ones that inspire a sense of wonder, or a new flavor that makes life just a little bit sweeter, or one to celebrate those moments that lift you to new heights, at home or at work. We'll make your happy place your own. CertaPro Painters. That's painting happy. Each CertaPro Painters business is independently owned and operated. Contractor license and registration information is available at CertaPro.com.
The Valley of the Sun will roar to life this spring.
This ought to get pretty wild here.
Why is that, you may ask? Because NASCAR and the NTT IndyCar Series are coming to Phoenix. And it's going to be a weekend of good vibes the whole family won't forget. The best-in-class fan experience meets racing's toughest drivers for 3 days of action on and off the track, all surrounded by the beautiful Estrella Mountains. NASCAR weekend at Phoenix Raceway, March 5th through the 8th. Get your tickets now at phoenixraceway.com.
The garage door springs that come standard with most homes don't last. And when they fail, it's not just inconvenient, it's dangerous. Hi, I'm Tommy Mello at A1 Garage Door Service. Our springs are the toughest in the industry, backed by our lifetime warranty. That's right. Fix them once and you're covered for life. Don't risk your family's safety or your peace of mind. Let A1 replace your springs before they become a problem. From repairs to upgrades, it's A1 from day one.
A1 from day one.
Right now at Mark Kia in Scottsdale, we have the vehicles you want at affordable prices.
For instance, the sought-after 2025 Kia Sportage is available for $27,999, and with $2,000 down at 3.99% financing for 72 months, drive out with a payment of $475 a month. We have affordable options on all of our most popular Kias.
Now available at Mark Kia at the Scottsdale Auto Show. The name to remember, Mark Kia, Mark Kia. Go to markkia.com for full details. Offer only for Kia Motors Finance. Offer expires February 2nd, 2026.
Come on down to the Ranch House Grill. Comfort food is your next meal. Pork chili verde, chicken fried steak. Ranch House knows you'll think it's great. Hey there, Phoenix. Have you tasted the best breakfast in town yet? Well, Ranch House Grill has it. From our crispy golden chicken fried steak to our hearty slow-cooked pork chili verde, our generous portions are sure to make you feel right at home. We serve breakfast and lunch every day from 6 a.m. to 2 p.m. in a cozy, family-friendly spot with a small-town feel. After 19 years of serving up Southwestern comfort food, we're still right here on 56th Street in Thomas Farms Road. Come on by and let us make your morning special.
The Dan Patrick Show.
I wasn't going to ask too much of Jarrett Stidham. I just wanted him to maintain. You throw one deep pass late, and then you come back and try to throw another deep pass in those conditions, and he gets picked off. They just weren't threatening on all. Well, neither team was, because the weather was, obviously rough enough that we could even find. Jim Nance is like, I don't know where the ball is. I think the 33-yard line.
Weekdays, 7 to 10 a.m. on KTUS AM 1060.
Back here on the lunch break, KTUS AM 1060. I know what I'm about to say may sound crazy, but are the Arizona Cardinals playing a little 4D chess? Michael Bidwell, Monty Ossenford, do they actually know exactly what they are doing? Are they actually following through on something that we outlined a week or two ago about this whole process for the Arizona Cardinals? If you'll remember, hop in the time machine, let's go back a little bit. We said be patient. The one advantage that the Cardinals might have in this whole process is they could outlast everybody. They could outlast the Buffalo Bills. They could outlast the Baltimore Ravens. They could outlast the Pittsburgh Steelers. They could outlast all these teams who felt a sense of urgency to get a hire in there to build out a staff because those teams are on a different timeline than the Arizona Cardinals. And so we said, hey, maybe you can just relax. You can be the last team that hires somebody or one of the last teams that hire somebody. That's okay. You're not going to miss out on a candidate. We said, which candidate out there is going to, with all these other openings, sign with you and not listen to those other teams? And so now that we've gotten here to basically at the end, and it's just the Cardinals and the Raiders, maybe the reason why they're holding off on making Mike LaFleur their next head coach is because they want to talk to Clint Kubiak, because they don't feel like they're going to lose out on Mike LaFleur. So instead of this being an example, and I know it's easy to jump to this conclusion, they don't help themselves in this regard. So it's easy to jump to the conclusion that this is another example of Michael Bidwell not doing the right thing for the organization, him being a bad owner, not getting it done. 2 days with Michael LaFleur here in Arizona. They don't sign on the dotted line. Just another example of the incompetence of this organization. Maybe that's ultimately what's going on here. Or perhaps it's this organization, for once, doing the smart thing. It's being patient. Letting the process play out. Are you worried that Mike LaFleur is going to leave to go to someplace else right now? Now, yeah, maybe Mike LaFleur doesn't like being used as a pawn on this chessboard and says, you know what? Okay, I've decided I'm just going to go back to being the offensive coordinator of the Rams. I'm withdrawing my name. Maybe. But maybe the Cardinals are willing to take that risk because maybe they don't feel like that's actually a possibility, that LaFleur wants to be a head coach and he's going to wait it out. And maybe they had that conversation with him that, hey, we're going to be patient in this process. We're going to take our time. We want to do the right thing. Hope that's okay with you. Maybe he said, yeah, that's cool with me. I know it's easy to jump to the conclusion that the Cardinals are always doing the wrong thing, but what if, in this case, they're actually doing what they're supposed to be doing, and they're doing the thing that we advocated for? That's why I'm not as worried as maybe some of you are out there today. One of the first segments we did on the show today was talking about how, are we worried that LaFleur Watch has entered day 3? And I said, no, because as of right now, we actually haven't gotten any information that should make me worried. What we're worried about is the lack of information. But if you take a step back, if you look at the forest through the trees, being patient, taking their time, going through a thorough process is exactly what we asked for at the beginning. So if that's really what's going on here, I can't blame them at all, especially now that you've gotten basically to the end of the road here and the only team that's standing in your way is the Las Vegas Raiders. Be patient. Make sure you get your guy. Cross T's, dot I's, feel comfortable. Don't hire Mike LaFleur and then wonder about Clint Kubiak when apparently Clint Kubiak is at least willing to sit down with you. Sit down with him, talk to him, get a gauge, and then go, okay, we realize this isn't happening. It's Raiders or bust for him. He took the interview, but he's not really interested. We got it. We got the vibes off of him. We're good. We're going to go back to Mike LaFleur. The last thing you want to do is hire LaFleur immediately after talking with him for 2 days and then finding out Clinton Kubiak would actually have taken the job, and he was your number one all along. You need to feel that when you make a decision, you've exhausted every option possible. And so I wonder if that's what the Cardinals are doing here, and that's a good thing. If that's what they're doing, that is a good thing. That is something that should be celebrated. That is something that should be applauded. That is a smart football thing to do. That is them turning what little advantage they have in this coaching search, and basically they don't have any, but they created one by just waiting everybody else out. Buffalo, in a panic, had to hire Joe Brady. Baltimore didn't waste time, got Jesse Minter. Those teams couldn't afford to wait around. You could. And so now that you're here, you're basically at the finish line, see the race through. And so I wonder if that's what's actually going on here. If there's a little 4D chess being played by the Arizona Cardinals, and they know exactly where they're at. We're all worried. We're panicking. People are, how does Mike LaFleur leave? How do you not get it done? We had that conversation in the first hour of the program. But maybe there's a plan here all along, and let's see it play out. 480-864-1060 is the phone number for you to hang out with us here today on the program. We've got one more segment before we hand things off to Jim Rome at the top of the hour, and it is all the stories we didn't get to today on the program. We'll call them the leftovers, and my guess is there's going to be a pretty big one to kick off the leftovers having to do with the Pro Football Hall of Fame, but that's just my guess. We'll find out if I'm right next. The Lunch Break, KDUS, AM 1060.
NAU men's basketball continues on both KAZG 1440 and KDUS AM 1060 this Thursday. Join the Lumberjacks as they look to defend home court against Eastern Washington. Head coach Shane Burkhardt knows his team has the tools they need in order to score another home win. Join Mitch Stroman on the call live. It's NAU versus Eastern Washington this Thursday. Pregame at 5:30 p.m. over on KAZG 1440 and tip-off at 6 also on KDUS AM 1060.
Life can change in an instant. If you're hurt in a car, truck, or motorcycle accident, everything can feel overwhelming. The pain, the stress, and the uncertainty of what comes next. You don't have to go through it alone. The attorneys at Sweet James understand the physical, emotional, and financial impact an accident can have. They're here to help you navigate the legal process and pursue the compensation you may be entitled to under the law. When you call Sweet James, you're connecting with a team of attorneys experienced in handling serious injury cases. Their work is driven by preparation, advocacy, and a genuine commitment to helping clients seek accountability and justice. Every case is different, and outcomes depend on the specific facts involved. If you've been injured in an accident, call the attorneys at Sweet James for your free case review. They handle everything for you so you can focus on healing. That's the Sweet James advantage. Help available 24/7. If you've been injured, call Sweet James for a free case review. Hablamos Español. 800-900-0000. 800-900-0000. SweetJames.com. This advertisement is paid for by Sweet James LLP. Responsible attorney, Bobby Tick-Heavy. Offices in California. No guarantee of results. Sometimes the great ones just keep getting greater. 7-time Grammy winner Gladys Knight has rolled out hit after hit over her illustrious career. Don't miss Gladys Knight Saturday, March 7th at 7:30 p.m. Tickets on sale now at celebritytheater.com. Brought to you by Danny Zalisco Presents.
It's the grand opening of Fulton Homes' newest master plan community, Acclaim. This beautiful community features open spaces, multiple parks, and a large aquatic center. Visit FultonHomes.com. Fulton Homes. You're proud to own. We're proud to build.
Right now at Marquis in Scottsdale, buy a brand new 2025 Kia K4 for $369 a month for 72 months at 4.99% APR with just $2,000 down.
The name to remember? Mark Kia. Kia. Finance. Offer expires February 2026.
In ASU women's basketball, a rivalry match right here on KDUS AM 1060. This Wednesday, join the Lady Sun Devils as they square off against Arizona. Head coach Molly Miller knows her team has what it takes to hit the court and win over the Wildcats. Join Jeff Mott on the call live from Tempe. It's ASU versus Arizona this Wednesday night. Pregame at 6 p.m. and tip-off at 6:30 right here on KDUS AM 1060. Online at KDUS1060.com and on the KDUS 1060 app.
That's right. ASU women's basketball against the University of Arizona tonight. 6 o'clock pregame right here on KDUS AM 1060. We got Jim Rome coming up at the top of the hour, but before that, it is all the stories and topics we didn't get to the previous hour and 45 minutes of the show. We get to them now. So, Producer Evan, what do we have in the leftovers today, my friend?
We'll start with it. Bill Belichick not in the Hall of Fame as a first ballot Hall of Famer, officially not being elected to the Pro Football Hall of Fame this time around.
I have what is going to be an unpopular take on this, and I am prepared to defend said take. I am not surprised that the coach that oversaw two major cheating scandals in the modern era of football, to go along with the personality of being extremely cold to the media, did not get in his first run with those media members needing to vote him in. I'm not surprised that happened. All I saw on social media was just disgust that this happened. And to a certain extent, I agree, right? This is the winningest coach basically in the history of the sport, all the championships. He should be a first ballot Hall of Fame head coach. But I'm not surprised that that's what happened. My favorite sport being baseball, I've seen this a time or two when it comes to the Baseball Hall of Fame and writers using their vote to make a claim, to make a statement. So this didn't surprise me yesterday. And I'll tell you this, if somebody in that room wanted to never vote for Bill Belichick because of the two cheating scandals and every year they voted no, I would tip my cap.
Okay, yes.
I just don't think that's what's happening.
I was going to say, I'm fine with that. This is we stuck it to Bill. Right. How about that from the writers?
Right.
This is a joke. This is why writers should never be voters. Because Bill came up there and said, we're on to Cincinnati and didn't want to talk to the media. They control now when he goes into the Hall of Fame. And next year, when he gets every vote, they become a joke. This is the same thing that happened at T.O. They didn't put T.O. in for years because of, over showboating and the Eagles stuff and everything else like that. T.O.'s the second best receiver in the history of the game, if not the third. And they didn't put him in. The writers are a complete joke, and they prove it every year.
I would not have a problem with somebody year in and year out not voting. I wouldn't agree with it, but I would understand it if you said this disqualifies Bill in my mind. Two major cheating scandals. People need to be talking about this stuff more. I can never vote for him. And if you are consistent, again, I don't agree with it, but I can understand it. But what's really happening here is they're going to use that as the justification as to why he's not a first ballot Hall of Famer. And then he's just going to get in next year. And they're going to have had their moment where they've been able to, I'll use your phrase, stick it to Bill. And then next year he'll go in and we won't have this conversation again. And that's where I think most of the outrage was pointed yesterday. And that's where I agree with most of the outrage. But I was not surprised. I really wasn't.
And by the way, I would certainly, if I was Bill next year, great, I'll do my induction ceremony in New England. I don't want to go.
Bill is such a football historian.
That he will go.
And he loves the sport so much.
Which is also...
That moment will mean so much to him that he'll go. He won't be that spiteful, but I understand why the thought crossed your mind. But he loves the sport so much.
He loves football. And that's why I can't believe they did this to him.
See, that's where I disagree with a lot of people. I am not surprised this happened yesterday. I am not.
Am I not surprised? It's inconsistent. And here's why. You have him on all these things. Like, you have him, the all-decade team, like the NFL 100-year team. Like, that matters to the Hall of Fame. They look at that.
But you got to understand, these Hall of Fame voters
are idiots.
They gatekeep the sport in a way that is inconsistent with everybody else. Baseball writers on the Baseball Hall of Fame do this all the time. They are the ultimate gatekeepers of the sport, and their set of standards is different than basically the entire rest of the baseball public. Same thing applies here. When it comes to the Hall of Fame and letting people into a sports Hall of Fame, the people that are put on that panel, they feel they owe a duty to the sport to basically be a gatekeeper and to make sure that only a certain set of people get in.
Yeah, and I want to be very clear.
And so they take it to an extreme.
This is the time where this needs to change. if you were the NFL,
nothing's going to change.
You
about
will
this.
look at. I would look at this. If I was the commissioner, Roger Goodell, this morning, I would look at this, laugh in their face, and say, if any one of you who did not vote for Bill vote for him next year, you no longer have a vote.
Well, I don't think that's how the Pro Football Hall of Fame works. I don't think the NFL and Roger Goodell dictate who gets a vote and who doesn't.
I understand, but like it's a complete joke because I truly believe this, and I know the voting doesn't come out like it does in baseball where you get a percentages and stuff like that. He will get in next year.
So there's 50 people who vote. He needs 40 of the 50 to get in.
Yes.
He fell short of that 40. So which means there were at least 11 people.
Or 11.
10 even get in. Have to be at least 11 people. So this isn't just one or two people. You know, this isn't a case of somebody in the Baseball Hall of Fame not being unanimous by one or two votes and they still get in, and then everyone's mad at the one person or two people who left them from being a unanimous Hall of Famer. This is 11 people that decided, I don't think Bill Belichick's the first ballot Hall of Famer. Now, I have a problem with the whole first ballot, second ballot Hall of Famer thing. Somebody's a Hall of Famer or they're not, in my mind. The first ballot thing, I don't really understand. Somebody's either a Hall of Famer or they're not. Years of them being removed from the sport doesn't change that. You look at their body of work, they're either in or they're not. But okay, you want to say that he's not a first ballot Hall of Famer, fine. To me, there is a legitimate philosophical, logical argument that you could make a case.
Yeah.
I'm not voting for this guy because of the two cheating scandals.
So here's my take on it.
If one of those 11 plus people every year voted no because of that, and they came out and said that every year, I could at least respect the consistency. I would disagree with where they got there in the end, but I could understand and appreciate the consistency. But I don't believe for a second that that's what these 11 plus people were doing.
Final take about this whole thing. Truly, if Bill Belichick isn't a first ballot Hall of Famer because of this, then Sean Payton shouldn't get in for Bounty Gate.
Right, and that's
where you'll be inconsistent.
And that's why I don't believe that that's the actual excuse. They are using it as cover because they just don't want him to be a first ballot Hall of Famer because he was tough to cover in the media and they didn't get along with him or whatever. Because you can't convince me 11 or more people in that room thought, yeah, Bill Belichick's not a Hall of Famer. You just can't convince me of that. You could convince me 3 or 4 of them maybe thought that.
Yeah, like if he's not unanimous because of the cheating scandal, and there were 3 people that sat on it and came out publicly and said, "Yeah, I didn't vote for Bill. I just feel as if the cheating scandals make it hard for me to vote for him." The others believed he's a Hall of Famer.
I don't know if I'd agree with it, but again, I can wrap my mind around that being the outcome.
Sure.
For him to not be a Hall of Famer at all, I'm not surprised by it because,
like, to me, it's like if you believe that, you'll never vote for him. Like if that's why you didn't do it.
If you're logically consistent, yes, you will never vote for him. And maybe that will end up being the case, and that'll be proven out. I don't think so. But again, I stopped being surprised by Hall of Fame results like this a really long time ago after baseball. Nothing surprises me anymore. Nothing. I saw it on social media when I was driving home, getting in the car, and I was like, I saw the outrage, and I'm like, I'm not surprised. Ken Griffey Jr. wasn't a unanimous Hall of Famer.
Yeah, like whoever didn't vote for Ken Griffey Jr.
Like,
neither was Jeter, right? Like,
right. So what I mean?
Yeah, no, it's these writers who have one bad experience with a player. It's like, whatever. And in baseball, it's even more of a joke.
Right, and because baseball is my sport, and I follow the Baseball Hall of Fame very closely.
Yeah.
It has scarred me to the point that where, like, Eli Manning didn't get in this year. That was reported. I was just checking social media during the break. He fell short again. I'm not surprised. I'm not surprised it's going to take Eli quite a bit.
Okay, but so, yeah, that I have way less of a problem with.
I'm just saying the shock that I have about Hall of Fames is more in I am pleasantly surprised when somebody gets more votes than I thought they were going to, rather than being surprised at the other end. Like the other end doesn't surprise me anymore because it happens over and over and over again.
But like Eli, there's a debate of whether he should be in the Hall of Fame.
Sure.
There's no debate. Bill Belichick should be in the Hall of Fame.
I guess according to 11.
Apparently, the 11 people who have ever watched football all happen to have a Hall of Fame vote.
That's going to do it for us. Wednesday edition of the program in the books. Jim Rome is coming up next. Producer Evan, thank you for all that you do. Everybody have a great rest of your Wednesday. We'll talk to you tomorrow. See ya.